Welcome to our Top Club virtual meeting via Zoom. This is May 6th, 2020, and we have the honor and pleasure of having a fantastic guest chef today, Faith Roberts, from the Coalition of Vegans of Color here in Sacramento. And we have had Faith with us before when we were meeting in class. She did an amazing bowl, and it was so much fun that we said, please, please, please come back. And she has. And it just so happens that we're virtual right now, but that can give her the flexibility to show maybe some different things that she uses, ingredients, tools around the kitchen. Because when we do cooking demos, you have to bring everything with you. And sometimes it's like, oh yeah, I'd love to show you that. But maybe now with you being in your kitchen, you can show us some different things, and we can have anybody who wants to can ask questions. Well, so I will, what was that? I heard something. So what I would like to do is I will be monitoring the chat. So if you have any questions, the easiest way to start the chat with a question mark. That way I'm alerted to, this is a question for Faith. That way Faith doesn't have to worry about looking at the chat. And then I will add questions in as far as I'll be the spokesperson. Unless someone has a specific question they want to ask, then just put that in the chat. Okay? So why don't we just start with Faith, who you are, how you got here, and yeah, we're so thrilled. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Well, my name is Faith Roberts. I started the Coalition for Vegans of Color back in 2018, pretty much just to show the representation in the vegan community here in Sacramento. We've done a lot of events. That was our main focus, was just getting people out so they could actually taste, and similar to Tim Marie's meetup too as well, so that they could taste. We've had guest speakers and different people come to really encourage a plant-based diet. I know veganism can be kind of scary for a lot of people, but we wanted to do things that were fun and fresh and not so, you know, so much of like a lecture. We've done brunches with like dance parties and all types of really, really fun stuff just to get the community involved. I've been advocating for health over 10 years. I started my vegan journey in 2008, and it's been kind of off and on. I travel and I'd have a piece of fish or something and then blame it on, you know, well, I'm immersing myself in the cultural experience, things like that. So it's been kind of on and off. I've been 3 years now cold turkey back on, you know, strictly vegan, plant-based diet now, and I've never felt better. So I try to tell everyone that I know to really just give it a chance. And I know it's hard when we've been conditioned to, you know, eating things a certain way, but it's really fun too. I like the creativity that comes with it. You get in your kitchen and you mix spices, and it makes it so fun. So that's pretty much me and what I've been doing. I also teach yoga. So a big part of what I've been trying to do too is incorporate the whole mind, body, spirit connection with food as well, which is really, really fun because people can actually see and be more aware of what their body is going through and how the body is changing when they are changing their diets. So especially now, just with everybody, is so much fear going on right now. And I think people are beginning to pay a lot more attention to their diets, of course, because we're trying to boost our immunity. So it's not good, but it is a good thing because people are becoming a lot more aware and intentional about what they're eating and consuming. So it's been great to witness that as well. And any questions, I guess like Tim Marie said, she'll let me know.
Yes, I will. Paul had a question. Right. Paul, do you want to unmute yourself, or do you want me to unmute you?
No, I don't have a question this time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Nice. So today, I've been eating really, really light. You know how they have the freshman 15? I'm not trying to gain the quarantine 15. So I've been trying to be really aware of still trying to work out and things like that since we're at home. So I've been eating really, really light. I haven't been doing a lot of yeast and bread and things like that either. I don't know why all the flour is sold out at the stores. I guess people are baking. I don't know, but I'm not doing that. So for me, today I'm gonna make some barbecue jackfruit sandwiches. Hold the bun. I'm gonna be using some purple cabbage and also making a really, really nice fresh pineapple salsa on the side using some lime juice, some fresh cilantro, and some lime. So very, very clean and easy. I actually have the, and I'll try to turn this, you guys, please bear with me because I'm still trying to learn this Zoom thing and use my new gadget. So I have the jackfruit, which I actually cut up now, and I like to cut it kind of tiny so that kind of gives you that pulled meat texture. And then I am simmering my barbecue sauce on low, which is super easy, super clean. It's literally mustard, tomatoes, and maple syrup. So really, really easy, super, super clean. I'm gonna let it simmer a little bit more. The jackfruit's also cooking. I'm gonna make a vegan mayo for you guys. I'm gonna top the jackfruit with a nice slaw. So you guys will get a chance to see how I make that. And it's also super, super, my camera, bear with me guys. It's a super, super clean, oh, it wants to act up, bear with me. Super, super clean mayo. You know, they have the vegan mayos that you guys can purchase, but they're not always the healthiest, and they're usually made with canola, so I like to make my own. So I'll show you guys what I'm doing here with this. I started soaking some cashews in some hot water. That's gonna give us our really, really creamy texture for the mayo. We're gonna add in some mustard. No, not black pepper. We're gonna add in some sea salt and garlic, some onion powder, and some apple cider vinegar. So super, super easy, super, super clean. I like to put about a teaspoon of each ingredient, and you guys can see how I do that. I'm actually going to go on and filter my cashews now and rinse these and then get them into the blender. Does anybody have any experience in like making sauces and things like that? I know it can be a little time consuming. It's not always convenient, but you can always really, really taste a lot more flavor when you're making your own sauces. And then you can add in whatever you want as well, which is really, really fun. Go ahead and add the cashews into my blender. I'm actually using the Ninja today. If anyone has a Vitamix, a lot better for making sauces, and sometimes you don't even have to soak your cashews, which is really, really fun and easy as well. It just blends them up really easy. I'm gonna add some water really quickly to that. I'm gonna do about half a cup. So off camera now, but I'm right here. Okay. I'm gonna add this to the blender. Fresh filtered water. Okay. Tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and that's kind of going to give us that tangy flavor that we like in mayo.
So Faith, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, so with the mayo, how much cashews typically?
Oh, so I did, and you can do more since it's just me, just for lunch. I did a cup of cashews, and this usually will make about a cup, and usually
Okay.
fills up about maybe probably could fill up an 8-ounce or a 12-ounce mason jar. So that way, if you're not going to use it all today, which I won't, I'll like use it. You can use it on another sandwich. I'm actually going to do some crab cakes tomorrow, so I'll probably use it to make a nice aioli. You can add peppers to it. You can add garlic to it. Really, really easy. So depending on how much you want, but this is just a cup of cashews.
So you had a cup of cashews, you had water, about a half a cup of water, or was it more?
Half a cup of water, yes.
Okay, and then a tablespoon of apple cider vinegar.
Yes, and now I'm adding a half, well, not half, but a teaspoon of onion powder. And then I'm gonna add a teaspoon of mustard.
And that's prepared mustard or dry powder?
It's prepared. Yeah. And just always remember, guys, like you can always season to taste. Some people like their mayo a lot more pungent and tangy, but it's up to you. It's really up to you. I'm gonna add some garlic. You can use garlic powder, or if you want, if you have any fresh roasted garlic powder that you want to use, you can do that. I actually have a Himalayan pink salt and garlic mix that I got. I like to go to those gourmet shops for all like the salt blends and things like that to do. I'll usually find things like that there. But just remember, like, once you get it blended, always taste it. And if you need to add more or less of one ingredient, you can always do that. I'll probably end up adding a little bit more mustard here. So a lot of it got stuck on the side. Sorry about the guys, I'm gonna put that on a lower setting while that kind of mixes and gets really creamy. I'm gonna check on my jackfruit that should be about done. I'm gonna add the barbecue sauce now. Guys, there we go.
So when you said that you cut the jackfruit, are you using a spoon typically, or do you first do it on a cookie sheet or a cutting board and then put it into the pan and then use the fork?
Oh, let me cut the top of that. So usually the jackfruit, I cut it, and I did all this prep before because it just takes entirely too long. But I'll cut the jackfruit. I'll get it started in the pan because it can be so tough. It's such a tough fruit to cut through. And then I'll usually take a fork and just get it down so that pulls meat texture that I like. And that usually does the trick. You can also soak it too. That will also soften it up a bit.
Did you start with jackfruit in a can or actually a fresh jackfruit?
This is fresh.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the hard part.
The canned is easier. Yeah.
It is. Oh, yes. Yes. They just had some. That's why I was talking to a couple of the ladies, telling them just about, being on lockdown and how we have a lot more time now, to prepare foods, which is really, really cool. Because you can be intentional and, just really play in the kitchen. I know for me, I preach about this a lot, but I don't always do what I preach. So it's giving me a lot of time just to really play in the kitchen and plan my meals. A lot of times when I was busy, I come home and it's like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna cook? You know, being vegan is really easy because you can always just, you know, stir fry some veggies or something like that. But after a while, you just get really bored. So it's really fun to be able to just really be able to plan the meals and, you know, go to the farmer's market and not feel so rushed, you know, and really be able to ask questions and go to the store and other than the lines and of course the fear and everyone, but just really taking time to be intentional about what you're buying in your foods. So
good advice.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about your barbecue sauce? Many people were asking about that in the chat. So
okay, yeah. So super easy. Another thing where, you know, you kind of just you can play with it if you want, but all I did, I chopped up some tomatoes, threw them in the blender, made them to a nice, a good consistency, good blend. I added some maple syrup and then some more mustard, some prepared mustard. So super simple. Some people like it a little bit more sweet. You can always add brown sugar if you want to add more. I'm sorry.
Do you add any spices to it at all?
I didn't add anything to this one.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, normally I probably would have if I was just gonna, you know, use it as a topping. But since I was making it with the jackfruit, I actually threw it. I didn't tell you guys about the jackfruit. So I did put some liquid smoke and some crushed pepper into the jackfruit. So that kind of will help with the flavor with the barbecue sauce as well. But yeah, just kind of use your discretion with different things that you like. A lot of people like to add in chipotle peppers, which are really, really good, and a nice barbecue sauce. So yeah, just do what you guys like and what tastes good. I love spice, so I usually add crushed pepper to everything. Or I love jalapeno. I usually add that. I actually was gonna add some jalapeno to our pineapple salsa that we're gonna make, but I forgot to buy some, so I'll leave that out. But this is one of my favorite things to make. It's super clean and easy. It's really bright and refreshing, especially if you are eating a spicy dish. It kind of just cools everything down. And then also, if you ever just want to top just a regular salad, even over maybe some arugula or spinach, you can always take pineapple and cilantro. Is delicious together. I absolutely love it. You can always top that over greens, which kind of make your salad spruce up too, because like I said, you know, just eating plants can just get really boring. I love to add lime as well to the pineapple cilantro mix. It gives it a little bit more of a kick as well. I'm gonna cut the our mayo on one more time just to make sure it's nice. Quick little taste test to see if it's how I like it. And remember, guys, when you make this, you can literally put anything in it. Make some nice aioli, like I said, if you want to add some peppers to it. Okay, that's good. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to it. But other than that, it's really good. Add a little more salt. I also really love garlic. So depending on your taste, put as much garlic as you want. I tell people you can never have enough garlic. I love garlic. Make sure you don't overdo it, because I'm using my grinder to create this. I don't have any fine sea salt.
Can you move the camera so we can see you?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. There we go. Is that better? Okay.
Perfect.
Into the blend we go. You can always let this run for however long you want. Like I said, if you do have a better blender, my Vitamix is actually broken. So right now, I'm just using the Ninja, but if you want that really, really creamy texture, you can. I like mine to be a little bit kind of chunky. I love cashew, so I like the texture of that. But always let it run just to, meet your needs. It doesn't have to be perfect, just depending on what you want. This is a slaw, so to prepare this, I just have some green cabbage, some red cabbage, and some carrots. So super, super simple, really, really easy and clean again for the slaw. Get ready to mix this in together. And so again, let me know you guys can see me or not. I probably won't use all of the mayo, just making a little bit of slaw, not a lot, just for this dish.
And if there's any way to get a picture of it at the end, that way we can use that as the thumbnail, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, yes.
You could text that to me after.
Okay, I sure will. So just to mix this in, just as you would any other salad, just to coat all of our ingredients that we have here. That is perfect. You guys know what? I totally forgot my lemon juice. I just thought about it. So adding the lemon juice to the mayo too will give it that nice tangy flavor. Since I forgot, I'm not going to worry about the mixture. I'm just going to squeeze a little over the slaw, like so. Another thing with lemon, you can do a tablespoon. Tablespoon if you like. I like a lot, so I'm going to use half a lemon here, and then mix this in. Still give it that nice fresh flavor. And please always use fresh lemon. I know a lot of people buy the lemon juice but I'm really partial. I really, really love fresh lemon juice. Still give it a nice bright flavor. So now that is done, I do have a purple cabbage, a little baby, that I'm going to cut. And as I mentioned earlier, I have not been eating bread. So if you guys prefer to do, your barbecue jackfruit sandwich and you want to do buns, you can. I'm going to use cabbage instead. Another alternative to this too is if you ever wanted to do barbecue jackfruit tacos. You can always take your red cabbage and just fold it up as you would a taco shell and use it like that. But I'm going to use this as my sandwich bun. And I probably won't top it. I'll just put it on the bottom just to hold everything in. So I'm gonna rinse this really, really good. And too, I know they have those super huge heads of cabbage that you can find at the farmer's market. Those are really too big to me, preferably for things like this. You can even sometimes do like little sliders of these if you find like the little baby heads of cabbage, which is really fun. I like doing that. Alrighty, I'm gonna turn this around so you guys can see. I'm gonna move the pineapple for now and work on my cabbage. So I usually take this and I'll mold it with my knife if I need to make anything smaller or bigger. Usually can just peel off a layer for my sandwich there. And again, I'm not gonna use this whole head of cabbage for my sandwich. So really good. You guys can always use it for something else if you want to steam it and do a stir fry, or like I said, you might want to do tacos the next day. You can always do that. That's also really, really fun. So I won't just cut into it as I normally would. So I'm going to use it for something else. Do one more. Alrighty, there we go. So I'm gonna put this back up because I'll put the cabbage back in the fridge to use for another dish. I'm actually gonna get a bigger dish out for our final masterpiece. So with these, let's see, can you guys see me? Yeah. So I like to take it, like I said, you mold it to however you would like. I'm gonna double these. Add my jackfruit now. So right on top, and remember, you can always use your bun instead. Things still really hot. I let it stay on low when I added the barbecue sauce, just so the flavors can simmer in. Another thing too about jackfruit, if you marinate it overnight, that really, really helps with the flavors of whatever you're making to the next day. It turns out really, really tasty, really good. I'm gonna add our slaw right on top here. Got that. So now setting this aside, I probably will not eat more than two. So I'm going to cut the jackfruit off and put my old saute pan away that had the barbecue sauce in. Now we're gonna work on our pineapple. This is a very, very, very ripe pineapple too that I have. I probably should have cut it a lot sooner, but I didn't. So I'm just gonna cut off the layer of skin on each side. Oh yeah, it's nice and juicy. Very juicy. And also again, I'm not going to, oh no, this may be too ripe. Let's see. I still may be able to get some good out of it. But I did not plan on eating my, oh, I don't think my pineapple is good. Well, guys. We tried here. I think it yet it's a little too ripe. So we're gonna do without our pineapple salsa. But again there, as I mentioned before, pineapple salsa, simply lime juice. I like to use half a lime, depending on how much you're making. Half a lime, fresh cilantro, and a red onion. That's literally all. Super sweet and refreshing. I was not going, I'm mad now, I was not going to use the entire pineapple. I was gonna make a spritzer later with it, and usually when I do those, it's just little Pellegrino, some pineapple, I'll usually juice the pineapple and then add some cucumbers. Really, really refreshing. Really, really good. But other than that, since I can't show you how to prepare the pineapple, it's too ripe. That's it. So you've got a really, really super quick, easy, healthy lunch. And it would literally take you 30 minutes or less. Super, super easy, quick, healthy. And you don't have to worry about filling it too full. Another thing for lunch, I'm really not a big breakfast or lunch person. But with this, I know that I'm getting what I need, but I'm also still not feeling too, full and loaded, because usually by that time I'm like, okay, now I need a nap since we're all here at home. So I can still go on the go. I can still run errands and everything after this meal. Super quick and easy, fast, very tasty too as well. And I am going to garnish with some fresh edible flowers. Another thing that I like to encourage is to always make your food really beautiful. It actually helps you mentally when you're getting ready to consume, and just take time to eat it. I like to use foods that are really, really colorful. So I like the purple cabbage, and just the greens and everything mixed together just makes a really, 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 really pretty entree. But other than that, that's it, guys. Super quick and easy. Does anybody have any questions, or did you want to talk about your vegan journeys, or anything that you may be struggling with while we're home, trying to figure out different ideas of things to cook at all?
We have a couple questions. So first they said, please show us the plate on camera.
Oh, yes. Here, I can.
And don't forget about taking a picture of it.
I will. So I have not added, let's see, this is not the best. Let me add my flowers now so you can see.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that was
really
one question.
Okay.
And then someone else asked about, can you give us the recipe for the pineapple salsa? And I had typed in the chat, red onion, fresh cilantro, pineapple, and lime.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything else? I actually typed in red onion twice. I didn't mean to do that. Was there anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay.
If you want a little spice, like I said, I like to add jalapeno. I did not buy them, so I wasn't going to add it today, but just for that kick, you can always add some jalapeno as well.
And then another question was marinating the jackfruit. So yes, you would do that the night before. You had mentioned liquid smoke and peppers. Would you use any vinegar, or what would the liquid be, or would it just be the liquid smoke?
So definitely the vinegar. I don't know if you guys have ever had like the jackfruit carnitas, but oh my gosh, they're really, really, really good. But you have to marinate in that vinegar in order to give it that tangy, pungent flavor. And then too, a lot of people fry them to give it that crisp, but I found that you really don't have to do that. You can put them on a baking sheet and bake it, and it still gives it that crisp. Actually put it on broil, and not very long because it'll burn, but just to give it that crisp around the edge. You could do maybe 7 minutes or so, depending on how much you have, and that's all you need. That's all you need, but really depending on the type of flavors that you like. If you're wanting to do a jackfruit, a teriyaki, or different things, just be mindful of the flavors that you're trying to achieve, and just use that the night before. Jackfruit is one of those foods, kind of like eggplant. It kind of takes on whatever flavors you add to it. The jackfruit, straight from the fruit, without using the can, is kind of sweet. So I do like to use that for, your barbecues and your teriyaki dishes and things like that. So just be mindful of that. If you are buying the fruit itself, it is going to be pretty sweet, but very good. It's not, oh gosh, how would I describe it? It's a mild sweet. It's not too sweet, but yeah, just keep that in mind, depending on what what flavor you're going for.
And the jackfruit in the can, it's important for people to know you can get it in syrup, or
Yes.
you can get it in brine or water. So
Yeah.
you have to look for that, whether it's the young jackfruit, because jackfruit in a lot of countries, that's a delicacy, a sweet. So it's in like a syrup, you know how. So if you start with that and try to make something like a taco, it's not going to turn out the way that you are thinking.
No.
And check labels for sodium content. I know that the Trader Joe's seems to have the lower sodium content compared. It's not low sodium, but lower than some of the Asian markets. And then I have a recipe actually on my website that one of my students worked up that was a jackfruit type slider for Super Bowl. And she put it in the Instant Pot first. And that's how she cooked it. And then she added her sauce and all the rest of it. So you were saying you were doing it in your pan. So there's a lot of different ways, you know, to work with it. But it's a softer texture than something like a meat.
Yes.
And
sure. And other like meat substitutes too, you can always do mushroom. I've done walnuts before, which the processes can be a little gruesome because you'll need to soak them. But when I tell you, when you add your oregano and your regular taco seasonings and the cumin, you cannot tell the difference. It is so good. It's really, really good. So that's the thing. There's just so much we can do. It makes it really fun. Like I said, if you don't like to play in the kitchen and you don't like convenience, you might not find that to be that attractive, but you really can have all of your favorite dishes and just veganize them. It's really not hard at all. Sometimes it takes a little, extra preparation, but other than that, it's really simple and it tastes really, really, really good. You just add your favorite seasonings. If you want it to kick it up, you want to make it spicy, but it's really simple. It's really simple and easy. Getting this plate ready for you guys too.
And those basic ingredients, a lot of them we can grow. I mean, we're not growing jackfruit, but we can grow the cilantro. We can grow a lot of these, and putting those together ahead of time on the weekend too, making your salsa, like you had said, that just gets better with time.
Right.
As far as flavors.
Right. It really does. And it kind of forces you to, like I said, experiment with your different herbs and your different things, because you'll have to season, but it's so worth it. And if you guys can, start your own garden, it's just the best to know that you've actually cultivated something and to get to enjoy it. It's really the best feeling ever. So yeah, no, really good tip, Marie. That's awesome. That is so awesome.
Any other questions that anybody has? I have a question, Faith. What is the best thing you've made since we've been on quarantine? Or something you've experimented with that you hadn't previously?
I've been a bad girl. Actually, cheesecake. I was trying not to, bite the sweet bug, but I have all this time now, and I actually really do like to bake. Baking is so therapeutic for me, but cheesecake, because I have made it before in the past, but I still didn't get that flavor that I was really looking for. And like I said, it comes down again to convenience. They have the Tide Hill, which is actually the best vegan cream cheese in my opinion. And then you've got the tofutti and things like that. But I really try to stay away from that. And once again, I took my time. I soaked my cashews and I did it, and it was delicious. So yes, I've been trying to stay away from the sweets, but that cheesecake was awesome. And like I said, I had the time to really be intentional about all of the ingredients and getting everything prepped on time. But yeah, that cheesecake was really good.
So I don't know if you saw in the emails that we had sent out last week, but we have Hannah Kaminsky. She is the cookbook author. She's written 6 vegan dessert cookbooks, and she's doing the baking, basically vegan baking 911. Bring all of your questions, all of your flops, all of your ideas. And she's doing a question and answer for us next week. So I hope you will tune in and think, because we've all had situations where things haven't gone that great when we're trying to substitute ingredients, especially in baking. You know, you and I know cooking is very forgiving. You know, I mean, you just, obviously you can mess something up by adding too much salt or whatever, but normally it's like, let's just add a little more or a little less. But when you are doing baking, it can it can really mess something up.
A disaster. Yes. I've done a few of those, but I like it, and that's the fun part. It's fun. Yeah. So write down
those questions, those flops, so that you're ready next week for her.
Oh gosh, I sure will, for sure.
Now, we had someone in the chat that said, can we get information and I think they're trying to ask, they said the Should Food vegan group, but I don't know. She says the soul food. Is there a soul food vegan group?
A soul food vegan group. They may be talking about my my business page, which is Soul Brunch, but it's actually, a lot of people kind of get that confused because it's actually not like soul food is spelled SOL, like the sun, just basically meaning like plants cultivated by the sun for Soul Brunch. But yes, I do, and I haven't been active on Instagram in a really, really long time, but the same thing as I was telling you before, just really veganizing some of our favorite dishes. That's basically what I've done, and our events are all about that, and also incorporating total health and wellness. We usually have like yoga classes or someone that's there talking about holistic health. That's something that I am really, really deep into, and actually herbs as well.
So do you have a location right now, or
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. Just events. Like I said, can't do anything right now, but hopefully once outside opens back up, I am looking to do something really soon. And my biggest emphasis lately has just been women's health. And using different herbs as we, a lot of us are going through the change, and then other women who are just trying to stabilize their hormones and things like that monthly, because we go through a lot. So yeah, that's what I'm focused on right now.
Perfect. Excellent. And then we always do every semester when we were on campus, we were doing our soul food potlucks and potlucks, and that was one of our favorite, because we just love, the food is just fantastic. And there are, I don't know, have you eaten at Solely Vegan in the Bay Area?
I have, yes. That was I think that the first vegan restaurant I went to in the Bay Area. That was the first. Yep. They're so good though. They're always sold out of stuff. Like, I don't know if I don't get there early enough, but they always sell out. It's really, really good. Another really good catering company. They don't have a physical location, not yet anyway. They probably will in the near future, but they're called the Vegan Hood Chefs, and their food is really, really good. I know they're doing delivery right now in the Bay Area, but if you ever just want to get out of the house and you're bored and you want to take a drive, please follow their Instagram and try to find them. Their food is really, really good. It's very good.
Have you been to Dub Plate?
Yes. I love Sunny.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So The Plate is like a Jamaican Caribbean restaurant. They do have an ITAL menu, meaning plant-based menu, available. And the food is really, really good. And Sunny, she's the owner, and she's the sweetest ever. very attentive to everyone that comes in. They were doing some other events too. I know another group that I'm affiliated with, Feminism. They were doing like a open mic nights with like spoken word and having just different artists come. So if anyone is an artist and they were interested in having a place to just perform, Sunny is very, very open, just to different things and events. But the food is really good. And like I said, it's different when you know the person that's preparing your food and they're full of love. It really comes out in the food. So yes, please check them out. She's amazing. I don't know if since the lockdown, if she's doing like a pickup or anything. I'm really not sure. But if not, whenever they open up, please go by and check her out. Yeah, she's awesome. She's really good.
All right, I have a question. So Clarissa is asking, does anyone have any other plant-based ideas or recipes that could help the family get off the faux meat? I have an 8-year-old who loves his faux meat, nuggets, Beyond Burgers, Morningstar breakfast sausages, but I know they aren't great in terms of health and nutrient-dense foods.
I would say just stop buying them. Just completely stop. That's one thing I don't like about our society, and especially when it comes to veganism, because that's like the thing to eat. And honestly, I feel like you should just continue eating meat if you're eating those, because they are full of sodium and it's so processed. It's awful, but just stop buying them. And like I was saying, there's so many other things you can do. It's really flavor. When you're doing anything that's similar to the meats and things that we were used to eating as being, carnivores, it's flavor and it's texture. Experiment with your herbs and your seasonings. That is like where you start first. And like I said, a lot of times, people crave that texture, but you have the jackfruit, you have the eggplant. Like I said, the mushrooms are really good, and there's so many different types of mushrooms. Even if you want to do a scallop, they're like it's really, really just endless. But for a child, I don't really think they know the difference. They're looking for texture and flavor. So I'm just really experiment. If you want to do Taco Tuesday, and like I mentioned before with the walnuts and making your taco meat, it's really just about seasoning that walnut to meet your needs, and they really wouldn't know. Once you put them in the processor and it's down, it looks just like ground meat. It's the same. But yeah, just stop buying them. And another thing too is they can be pricey, and that's another big misconception that people think, when they want to start a plant-based diet, they feel like, oh well, I can't afford to do it. And it's like, you could, but no, it is pricey when you're buying, Beyond and all the other brands. It's expensive. So yeah, just completely cut it out. And the thing with kids, like, they'll eat when they're hungry. But yeah, experiment in the kitchen. And if you have time to do it, this is the time to do it, for sure.
So yes, we had several people respond. I put up a burger recipe and a link to another recipe for baked tofu nuggets, where they can do that. Kathy mentioned soy curls. Juliana mentioned a great recipe, breakfast sausage recipe from Nutmeg Notebook. Yeah, and I think that's the one that uses rice paper as the outside casing.
Yeah.
The rice paper. And so that is fun. I've actually made those before. It's been a while. I forgot about those. Thank you for reminding me, Juliana. I have done that in the past. I can look it up real quick so we can get it into the chat. Okay,
rice
so
paper is really good for bacon too, as well. If you wanted a bacon substitute for breakfast, yeah,
definitely. Let me see if I can find that. Everybody's saying thank you. Everybody really enjoyed your time with us.
Oh, thank you guys for having me. This is always so much fun. Because I can talk about this all day. It's so fun. And then also just to learn from you guys and just see what everyone's doing. Because we really do have to be creative. So it makes it fun. I
It
still hate I
does.
couldn't make my pineapple salsa for you guys, but I'll have to do that next time with maybe something else.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned something that got my attention. That was fish cakes. So
Oh, yes.
why don't would you be willing to come back sometime over the summer on a Zoom? Is this okay for you?
Sure, it's good. I got to figure out how to get these gymnast arms, this little gadget that I have. I have to figure out how to stabilize it. But no, this is fun. I love it. For sure.
Okay. Then let's think about that. Maybe we can do the fish cakes with pineapple slaw or whatever you have planned to do. And maybe we can do something in June or July. I think that would be fun.
I'm definitely open for sure.
Okay. Yay. That would be fantastic. And we're thinking about in the future, even when we get back to our regular classroom where we're all together, because it is fun to taste, no question.
Yes, I know. That's the best part.
I know, but to be able to still keep it going on Zoom if we can, just so that people who are far away or who can't get there could, participate.
Yeah, for sure. I love that. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Okay, if there aren't any other, I'm not seeing that sausage recipe for that Girardi family, but it's in the chat. So we'll have to just have people look. Thank you. Everybody said that they learned a lot, and thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm going to send a picture of the final product to you too.
Yes, perfect.